I'm not ashamed to own my Lord, nor to defend his cause. Maintain the honors of his word, the glory of his cross.
Hello, I'm James Brown, and on behalf of the East End Church of Christ located in Toronto, Canada, I'd like to welcome you to Monday's edition of Walking Through the Bible, a podcast where we seek to study the Bible and the Bible alone. Please stick around afterwards for information on how you can contact us. But for now, if you have a Bible with you, please go to the book of Genesis, and we'll turn you over to Jeremy Dieselkamp for our study of the day.
Thank you, James, and welcome to all of our viewers. This is the 90th lesson in our study of Genesis. On Saturday, we covered Genesis chapter 26, verses 26 to 35, discussing the treaty between Isaac and Abimelech. If you missed that episode and would like to watch it, you can find it and all of our other podcasts on our website at www.eastendchurch.org. You can also find them on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/EastEndChurchOfChrist under the Walking Through the Bible Genesis playlist. Today we're going to begin with Genesis 27 verse 1 and read through verse 10. The text that you'll see on the screen is from the English Standard Version, but you're welcome to follow along with any version that you have. So let's now read Genesis 27, beginning at verse 1. When Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau his older son and said to him, "My son." And he answered, "Here am I." And he said, "Behold, I am old, I do not know the day of my death. Now then, take your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me, and prepare for me delicious food such as I love, and bring it to me so that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die." Now Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to his son Esau. So when Esau went to the field to hunt for game and bring it, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, "I heard your father speak to your brother Esau, 'Bring me game and prepare for me delicious food, that I may eat it and bless you before the Lord before I die. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice as I command you. Go to the flock and bring to me 2 good young goats, so that I may prepare from them delicious food for your father, such as he loves. And you shall bring it to your father to eat, so that he may bless you before he dies." There has been yet another passage of time between the end of chapter 26 and the beginning of chapter 27. In this chapter, we find that Isaac is old and is likely to be about 130 years old. How do we come up with this figure? Well, it requires us to do some math based on ages that we do know. According to Genesis 47:9, Jacob was 130 years old when he entered Egypt. Genesis 45:6 tells us that this was during the second year of the famine, so Joseph would be about 39 years old at that time, since Genesis 41:46 says that Joseph was 30 before the famine began. That means that Jacob was 91 when Joseph was born. Now, Joseph was born after Jacob worked 14 years for his wives, according to Genesis 30:25, and was with Laban for 20 years in total, according to Genesis 31:38, meaning that Jacob left home at around age 71. Why did Jacob leave home? Because of the events that occur in this chapter, so Jacob is about 71 in this chapter. Since Isaac was 60 years old when Jacob was born, according to Genesis 25:26, that puts Isaac at about 131 years old here, give or take a couple years, hence why we rounded to 130 years old. It is said that Isaac's eyes were dim, meaning that he was blind. Such is the result of the curse of sin, in that without the tree of life, our bodies will decay and we will eventually die. Old age death or natural death occurs when our bodies can no longer function properly. Even though loss of sight does not cause death, it shows us that our bodies are decaying and death is drawing ever closer. Seeing as how Isaac thought he was close to dying, even though we know he'll live for another 50 years, he wanted to bestow the blessing on his son. The blessing was the right to become the head of the family after the father's death. Usually this honor went to the eldest son, though not always. In this instance, Isaac wanted to bless Esau, his oldest son, with the blessing of headship. There were 2 things wrong with Isaac's decision, though. First of all, Esau had shown himself to be an immoral and careless man. He married sinful women from the tribes of the Hittites, women who made Isaac's and Rebekah's lives miserable, and he sold half of his birthright for a bowl of red stew. This is certainly not the type of character one would normally voluntarily choose to be the head of the family. Second, and most importantly though, Isaac's choice was wrong because the Lord had already decided in Genesis 25:23 who the head of Isaac's household would be, and that it would be Jacob. However, Jacob wasn't Isaac's favorite child. Esau was, so Isaac's mind was made up, and he was going to bless Esau with this honor. So he sent Esau out to the field to hunt for some of his favorite food so that he may eat and bless Esau. This is yet another indication that Isaac's faith in God was most likely not as strong as Abraham's was, because had it been, he would not have so deliberately tried to subvert the will of God, but trust that God's will always be done. Again, this is not to say that Isaac wasn't faithful, but that his faith doesn't appear as strong as his father's was. After all, he did this in secret, for his wife overheard his plans, showing us that he probably thought that Rebekah would disapprove. We'll continue with this story, the Lord willing, tomorrow. With that, our time is up for today. Please join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow when we will continue our study of the book of Genesis, beginning with Genesis 27, verse 11.
Thank you, Jeremy. And to our viewers, we also thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Should you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment below or email us at answerintheword@gmail.com. We'll try to respond to you as quickly as we can. We hope you'll join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow when we'll be continuing our study of the book of Genesis. Goodbye for now and have a great day.
I'm not ashamed to own my Lord.